Hey, it is Scott Penfold here with you for another edition of the Loaded Radio podcast. And a great one this week, man, as we talk to Michael Paget, who's also known as Padge. He is the guitar player for Bullet for My Valentine. They have the new self-titled album out, and it is heavy. It is their most brutal album, and a very welcome sound for the guys in Bullet for My Valentine. As well, as always, going to be joined once again by Loaded Radio's Johnny Rude in the second portion of the podcast to talk about the week that was in hard rock and metal news-wise, just to keep you up to date on everything that's been going on. Okay, but let's get down to it, man. We've got Padge standing by, and you know what? Bullet for My Valentine, the new self-titled album, it's out, and it sounds absolutely stellar. It is a great, heavy, brutal album from these guys, and it's very welcome. So, Padge, thanks so much for joining us on the Load Video podcast.
Oh, thank you, man. Cheers.
Cheers, no problem at all. Now, to start off, what have you been keeping busy with over the pandemic? How have you been holding up to the whole thing?
Well, there was... We were obviously doing the album and stuff, but, you know, there was a long periods of time where we'd be doing nothing. You know, that's completely changed now. It's 100 mile an hour and everything's just flat out at the moment. There's no time to breathe anymore.
Yeah.
But it's good, you know, busy is good. And, you know, we're just gearing up for the album now. But for the most part, during the pandemic, yeah, we were just writing and demoing, you know.
Tell me about working with Carl Bone again as producer, and why work with Carl again?
He just gets it, you know. We work really well with him. You know, he knows exactly what we're sort of after, and you know, he's a bit like the fifth member. You know, we worked on 2 records with him before, and he just seemed like the obvious guy. And due to lockdowns and stuff, he was British, so it just made total sense to hire Carl again and get it done that way. You know, it just worked out a lot easier if we did it that way as well. But Carl's awesome, and you know, we really trust him with the records and stuff, and he always delivers massively high quality recordings. So yeah, because you guys have always sounded great with him as well. The new album, definitely straight up heavier album. I mean, it's obviously been intentional. Why the decision to go so heavy? Because I mean, I think it's very welcome for a lot of fans, but why the decision? Again, it just felt right. It just felt the right time, you know, after Gravity, and that sort of direction that album went. It just felt natural to go as heavy as we could on this one. You know, I think without Gravity, this record might not have been so heavy, you know, but it definitely gave us a direction to go in from that record. But yeah, we just started writing, and everything that came out was like riffy and heavy. So, you know, we just went along with it.
Yeah. But was it almost like an answer or a response to Gravity? Because Gravity had almost like that new metal kind of feel to it, where this one is more in your face, straight up metal. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. And, you know, like I just said, I think if we hadn't have wrote Gravity, then this album might have turned out a lot different. So I think Gravity gave us the direction and sort of set out the path that this new record should sort of go down. So yeah, I think, and you know, I think I'm happy doing a super heavy record. You know, I'm a bit of a metal guy, and so I was all over it. I was just like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. And again, it sounds just so good too. Now, is this like a sign of the sound of the band, or is it just for this album at this point, or is things just sort of up in the air at this point?
I don't know. It just feels Bullet 2.0. It just feels like a new lease of life. We've got, I wouldn't say 2 new members, but you know, the band's different to what it was, and everything's just clicked on this one. And you know, maybe if we had wrote this sort of record, you know, 4 years ago, it might have been a lot different. So everything just fits. Everything just feels natural. And you know, I mean, the next record, who knows what that one will be, but it's usually the one that comes before helps define the one that comes after, you know?
Sure, certainly does. Now, I know that in the past, you guys have always been sort of grouped into that metalcore sort of genre. Is this almost like saying that, you know, we are not restricted to this one thing? Like we able to expand, we are able to get heavier?
Yeah, totally. It just definitely shows, you know, what the band can do. And we don't have to write the same record, you know, it just kind of shows what the band is capable of, and, you know, a different side to the band again. You know, I don't think we've ever written an album this heavy. So it just shows that, you know, we're not a one-trick pony, and, you know, we can write sort of radio songs, and we can write super heavy thrashing songs and all sorts. So it's just an ode to what we can achieve as musicians. So I think that's important, showing different sides of what the band can do, sort of thing. So
the first song that I heard off the album was Parasite. Even just the way that song just opens, Matt's just melt on that. Tell me about that song.
That one came about, we did a writing session at my place. Fortunately, I got a little setup in the garage, and Matt came down for about 3 weeks, I think, and Parasite was one of the ones that came out of that session, and it was kind of a head turner. We were looking at each other going, are we really going to go there? And it was like, yeah, let's go there, let's do it. And so we just sat down with it and just made it as heavy as we possibly could. And I think there's about five songs came out of that session, so it was really productive. But Parasite's one of my favorite off the record. It's super heavy song, and it's very fun to play live.
Yeah, I'll bet it's a great tune. Another tune that really jumped out to me was Knives. What can you tell me about that one?
That was one of the early ones. So that came at the beginning of the writing sessions. I think that was in 2019.
Oh yeah.
So it's been a while doing this album, writing it especially. But that was that came about in a place called Veda Studios, and that was one of the best ones that came out of that session. And it was like, that was sort of one of the ones where it's like, right, we're going to go this heavy. So it was a bit of a took the lead a bit, and sort of helped us sort of direct this record towards the heavier things. So yeah, and that one's super cool to play live as well. It's it's not much to it, but it's super heavy, and it's great fun to play live.
Yeah, it's a great song. And one other one that I think is right now my personal favorite is your latest release, the latest single, Rainbow Veins. What can you tell me about that one?
That one actually took a while to write, because it sounded like a completely different song at the beginning. It was a different tempo, different riffs. It was the lyrics on that one that stayed. Matt loved the lyrics, and so he ended up writing the music around the words, which he doesn't do very often. But we tried many times to write that song, and he had to take it away, put it to bed, and just work on it in his own head, because he really wanted to use those words. But yeah, it just didn't work for a while. We just couldn't get the song to flow. So he basically rewrote it, and it came out like that. So not much to it, but just, again, another fun one to play. They're all super fun to play, which is great,
Yeah. Now, why did you guys decide to go self-titled with this album?
Well, we kind of never done it on an album, and like I said earlier, it feels like the band has got a new lease of life. Everyone's firing on all cylinders, and it just felt right to do it. It's normally it's a song title or something, but Matt was like, what should we call the album? And it was just call it Bullet for My Valentine, and everyone was cool with it. So it just felt right. So we did it,
I think it's great because, again, with just, just the evolvement of the band and where it is right now. I mean, I think it's the perfect time to release that self-titled album. So it totally works.
Absolutely, man. It just everything feels right, and we just following our hearts and going with it.
Absolutely, man. Now, Matt has said in the past that you're a rock band with metal influences, and he said that from day one. Do you guys still agree with that statement?
Kind of, yeah. We interesting enough, we can kind of lend our hand to a lot of different styles and stuff, but I definitely say we're hard rock metal, so it's not as if we're pop or pop punk or whatever.
Yeah, right. Now, I was going to ask about obviously you've got the album dropping, which is obviously going to just come crashing down. What are the immediate plans after the album's release for you guys?
Well, we're actually on tour when we dropped the album. So it got pushed back 2 weeks due to manufacturing delay. Right. But we've got a UK tour booked in like 2 weeks, I think. And so we'll be out on tour when the album comes out. I believe we play in London, Hammersmith. Oh, nice. When it drops. So that'll be on November the 5th. Yeah, there's a few more shows then. And I think that's all we have this year, due to ongoing lockdowns and travel restrictions and stuff like that. There's, I think that's it for the year. And then next year is just going to be relentless touring, as soon as everything gets back to normal and opens back up.
So we can hope to see you next year over here in North America then. Absolutely,
yeah.
I haven't been to a good Bullet My Valentine concert. It seems like in a long time. So it'd be great to see you guys again,
Yeah. Hopefully, the sooner the better, because we jumping at the bit now. It's been too long.
Awesome. Padge, I can't thank you enough for taking the time today to talk to us. I really can't wait to see you in North America next year, man. Really, really can't.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks very much, man.
All right, man. All the best to you.
And you, take care.
There he is. There's Padge, the guitar player from Bullet My Valentine, Michael Paget, and the new album, Bullet My Valentine. It is self-titled, and it is heavy, man. It is a great, brutal-sounding album, and very welcome from these guys. But it's Scott Penfold, and as always, I'm being joined by Loaded Radio's own Johnny Arood, who joins us live from Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're going to talk about the week that was in, hard rock and metal news there, John. I mean, what have you got for news, Johnny? Anything?
Okay, what do you have for news?
I got a few things. I got like the Kiss stuff, like Kiss canceling Vegas and stuff.
Yeah, I have that. I read up on that about it was a bit of a shit show, at least according to the crew members, that it was a shit show as far as all the testing and fake ID cards and all that stuff. I think that's terrible.
That's what I heard. I heard that it was, they've totally canceled Kiss at Zappos Theater in Vegas now. Zappos, where is Zappos again? It's in the...
Planet Hollywood.
It's in Planet Hollywood. So they've totally canceled it now. If you have bought tickets, you can get, refund at point of purchase. From what I heard, it was, they said soft ticket sales. Mind you, what you were just saying, I think plays a big part in this as well.
I think all of it plays a part in this. I mean, yeah, soft ticket sales. It's done, man. I would go. Yeah. But I'm not out there going, I got to go see Kiss at the Zappos Theater in Vegas. So that could be it. People are still kind of chilled out on this whole thing. They still don't feel comfortable going to places, even though when I saw Korn and Slipknot, it was insane. But yeah, it's the older crowd, right? And I still think they're a little leery. The kids don't give a shit. They don't care if they're going to rock shows. Like Metallica just got announced here for February 25th for Allegiant.
Yeah, with the opening act is
Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet, that's right. Yeah, that's going to be cool, man.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool. And again, I don't think people will shy away from that. But the Kiss thing, I don't know. And again, Gene and Paul got COVID. The guitar tech of Paul Stanley's, he died of COVID. Yeah. And then you start reading this stuff. The tour guys are, I think it was in Rolling Stone magazine saying it was a shit show, man. They weren't, following all the right CDC recommendations. And you talk to the powers that be. Oh, yes, we were. But you're talking to the guys on the ground, and no, they weren't. Even if they got COVID, they were still working through it. And that's bullshit, dude.
And I think a great deal of it is, do you think that maybe people are starting to get a little burnt out on Kiss? I mean,
I think so.
This farewell tour is going to go well into 2022. They had their last residency. It seemed like they just had it in Vegas. It's getting really, really thrown out there. I think that some people are just getting a little Kiss bird out.
It's a little redundant, the last show ever was here or something. They did that last big show, dude. I like I said, we were huge fans. I was a fan of the original stuff, and it was all the other stuff was kind of fun. I'm not chomping at the bit to go and see this. I don't care. When I heard it was canceled, I didn't care either. I wasn't crying about that.
Right.
So I think, it's a bit of a burnout. On the other side, Gene bought a house here, sold a house here.
Yeah.
Then bought a new house in LA. He's back in Hollywood again.
Close to his old one.
Close to his old one. Yeah. I don't know what that guy's doing. I mean, he bought a house here.
I know.
And I think he paid $8 million for it. And now he's selling it for 14 or 15. And now he just bought another house in Hollywood again. And I guess West Hollywood for 16. So who knows, dude?
I don't. I think one of the quotes I did see that he said is that the summers were too hot or something.
Oh, it's way too hot for him here.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with him, but he just couldn't handle it. But apparently Shannon did. I mean, dude, it was only a few months, and then Shannon never came here. Every picture she sent every picture that you saw her was stuff in LA.
Yeah.
Nothing really here. So I don't know, but yeah, it is hot, man. And
Yes.
yeah, which as well too.
It's a warm town. It is very
and
warm.
it's relentless for 3 months, man. Every day, 120 degrees. It gets to you a little bit. Now it's killer. I mean, that's the other side of it too. There's a lot to do here, and I don't know. I guess maybe Gene just he's trying to make money. He bought it for 8. Now he's selling it for 14.
Could be that as well. Who knows? I mean, I could see Gene being a guy who wouldn't appreciate that heat, though. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not. He won't go out on that. You kidding me?
Also, speaking of Kiss, though, they actually just had the recent Kiss Cruise 10. They have announced another Kiss Cruise for 2022. But a cool highlight that you can actually check out right now at loadedradio.com is that Kiss played live with former guitarist Bruce Kulick for the first time in this is probably I would say 20 years, is it, or maybe close to 20 years, I think.
Yeah, he's been in Grand Funk, Railroad for longer than he was in Kiss.
Yes, that's right.
People don't realize that, and he's been in that for years. So yeah, again, for them to do a reunion, that's kind of cool. But they're all buddies, dude. They're friends.
I mean, they are all buddies. Yeah, I mean, they have no problem with Bruce. I mean, they did a great job. They did "Tears Are Falling" and "Heaven's on Fire," 2 great Kulick era songs. And I think Bruce is an incredible player. When I think of Bruce Kulick, it reminds me of that one time when I was in Vegas with you, and we walked into Counts Vamped, and it was just like a Wednesday night or something, and we look up on stage and there's Bruce fucking Kulick just playing along with, I think it was Sin City Sinners that were playing that night, just jamming. It just blew my mind. It was a great night. I mean, the place wasn't even fully packed, but it was just Bruce fucking Kulick up there playing. It was a great night we had. Yeah, no, it's cool, and you'll see a lot of that stuff happening here. I mean, Chris Holmes from Wasp, when he was here, he'd hop up on stage. He'd beg to get up on stage just to play guitar. Oh, that's great, man.
It just happens, man. You can kind of be anywhere, and if someone's in town, especially up at that joint, it's a free for all, and you kind of get to know everybody within that little scene. And he's Danny's got a recording studio, and he's got a rehearsal space, and a lot of people use that. A lot of people don't know about it, but a lot of bands rehearse there for tours, pre-tours or pre-shows. They'll fly in, like Dee Snider, Twisted Sister. Yeah. They were doing stuff out of there. I can't remember everybody right now, but there was a lot, man. And it still continues because it's a really good room. I've used it many, many times when I was playing, and we would use that to rehearse and obviously record. But that's the scene. It's a little scene here, and a lot of people come in and out, and you get to know them, and that's what happens, man. So yeah, it's cool. And Bruce lives here, so that's another part of it. Yeah, which is pretty damn cool, man. Now, also speaking of that era, though, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame took place last night. Right. I think a highlight for you and I would have been the Randy Rhoads induction, posthumous induction. I think he received the Musical Excellence Award, and there's a great video you can actually watch at loadedradio.com of his induction. Randy, I mean, dying at just 25 years old back in '82, and finally in 2021 getting inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, it's, again, we've talked about this. It's a who gives a shit award, but it's still kind of cool when people you like get in, not say, I'm not saying anything wrong with hip hop, but some relatively new hip hop artist. Well, Jay-Z just got inducted too. So I know. But Jay-Z has done a lot in that realm of music. So I get it, but it shouldn't be called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as we've talked about before. We talked about this, yeah. So Randy Rhoads getting in there, or Pop Smoke or something like that, some rap guy who died, who OD'd. I mean, Randy, he's been so influential. He's written, and those first Ozzy albums, I mean, they're iconic. So it's about time. And it was great to see, Dave Grohl up there with Paul McCartney. I thought that was really cool. Very much. Again, yes. There's aspects of it that are neat. It's something neat to see. Is it legitimate? I don't know. It is what it is. Again, the more you talk about something and you bamboozling people, the more it seems legit. There's a lot of neat things about it, man. But good to hear Randy got in. I think that was well deserved.
I do as well, man. Definitely. Another thing that's kind of been making the rounds in the news is a lot of talk of Slayer lately, Johnny. I know, of course, I know you've hung out with Kerry King numerous times. Yeah, but you know the guys. Kerry recently saying about a month ago that he thinks that Slayer quit too soon. He misses playing. Gary Holt recently saying in an interview with Metal Hammer that he agrees. He'd have to agree that they were all on the top of their game and they were totally killing it. And they had a lot of left. That's rather, he says, they had a lot of years left in them. But I guess when it's time, it's time. So, but there's been some comments. I don't think Slayer will reconvene because of Tom Araya, but I mean, there's been a lot of talk and it's causing some buzz, you know?
Right. I did, catch wind of some of that. I actually did hear Kerry say that. It's tough, man, when you're doing things and you're living in the moment and you're touring and it's like, wow. And it is tough, man. And these guys are older. Yeah, I've had enough of this. But when it's not there and you're kicking around and you're mowing the lawn or you're washing the dishes and doing laundry, I'd rather be out playing. What the hell did I do? I'm still good. I can still play. I can still do stuff. So that's, I'm sure, what's going through his head. And he runs into fans and people too, saying, dude, I'd love to see Slayer again. So it's all of that involved. But when you're in that moment and you're up there and it's like, oh God, I got to go do this tour again. Oh man. You want to say, screw it. I'm done. We're done. We've done a lot. So he's missing it. I bet over time, it's that saying, time heals everything. So it's a wound right now. And you feel you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So over time, he'll adjust to stuff and, he'll get back into maybe just jamming with some friends or who knows, dude. But I think time will settle it down. And like you said, the Tom Araya thing, that's a bit of a problem, of course. But I think he'll get used to it. Who knows, man? It is a tough one. And you look at Kiss out there. They're, again, double these guys' ages and they're still doing it. Yeah. But I think Kiss should have packed it in a long time ago, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Slayer, dude.
I mean, I know that Kerry has mentioned that he is working on something with Slayer drummer Paul Bostaph, but they haven't really released anything as of yet. Gary, of course, busy with Exodus. Tom, I know he had the neck problems, and I think it's just the medical problems. I think Tom is really the main factor. But again, right, as you said, we'll have to see it. I'm sure Kerry will land somewhere. He's Kerry King.
He will. If you look at old Slayer videos, watch what Tom Araya is doing, man, and you'll wonder why he's got some neck issues.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, man, the fucking windmills and the back and forth. Dude,
you're 20 when you're doing that stuff. Now he's, oh God, of course it's going to hurt you. And again, that touring stuff, dude, it's like relentless. They've made some money. They've done pretty good, dude.
Have you got anything for Loaded News? Anything we haven't touched on yet?
I could bring this up, not that it matters, but Machine Gun Kelly, foot in the mouth. Don't pick a battle with a veteran metal guy, dude, and try and go on these heavy festivals. You're going to get... That's the problem right there. Stick to your top 40 pop festivals. Don't go on Riot Fest with a bunch of metalheads.
I know. Isn't that ridiculous? And it's just, and right after at Riot Fest, where he mouths off Slipknot. I mean, I know this is getting a little old, but I still think it's hilarious because the fact that he would have the balls to do that, and then he is feeling the backlash right now. And I guarantee you, there is a label rep somewhere out there who's just trying to get damage control in the worst fucking way because there's so much dough invested in this property of theirs. You know what I mean? So, and he's practically fucking it up. So
yeah, he's in my opinion, he's blowing it for himself because even though he's not like Slipknot, heavy rock, but you kind of let things go and you accept that because he's doing something else, not the rap stuff, but he's trying to do whatever. And the new record coming out, hence why he actually brought Corey Taylor on. He's trying to go a little heavier, a little more rock, and you're killing it, dude. Just
Corey turned him down.
yeah, I know. But that was why he said, well, my new record's going to be even more heavier.
Yeah.
You don't burn bridges and start cussing out people, man, that are on the same team as you. It's not good.
Especially heritage acts like Slipknot, dude. They're one of the biggest bands in the world. You're an idiot.
Right. What are you doing, buddy? And it goes on. And you read all the slagging. I think there's a thing out there, the 25 funniest slags against Machine Gun Kelly. And you don't slag somebody, especially when you're starting to come out. But here's the thing. It's that ego. You think you're doing well. You're on Saturday Night Live. You're the premier act on there. And you've got this ego. You're dating, Megan Fox, and no, that's a notch in your belt. And It's all these things. So you think you're invincible. No, dude, just be cool. My whole motto is be cool with everybody. Unless somebody actually slights you and punches you in the face, don't go after anybody. Don't punch fans. Don't flip off anybody. Yeah. It's not cool, dude. And today, especially today, everything goes viral, man. And people go, what the hell is this guy saying?
I mean, I've talked about this on the air, and I just I think that he his best move right now would be to bow out and go country, man. Just do another genre. Just, you're not wanted here. Just move on.
Yeah, that's kind of the joke, right? And
yeah,
he's not going to do that, but he thinks we'll see what happens, dude. Anyways, that's just some fluff that I've just been going through.
But it's Scott Penfold and Johnny Reid back with you here, about to wrap up another edition of Loaded Radio. And as always, don't forget, check out loadedradio.com for the stream, for your hard rock and metal news, for everything, John. It's all there, buddy.
Oh, I know. It's fantastic. If you want to find out anything, it's all up on loadedradio.com, man. The cutting edge right there.
Absolutely. Don't forget, you can email me or Johnny if you like, Scott, or Johnny at loadedradio.com, or get a hold of us through the website. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're on everything, John. We're on Spotify. If you want to hear the podcast, we have an app. There's so much to say.
It's amazing. Yeah. Everyone asks me and I say, just download it, man. Look for it. It's all there.
Yep. Completely free as well, so the price is right.
Yes, that's what Bob Barker used to say.
Don't forget, you can download the Load Radio app for free now, wherever you get your apps, or at loadedradio.com, so you can do that whenever you feel like. It's completely free, so the price is right. And as always, you can catch us on the stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at loadedradio.com. And as for the podcast, we'll talk to you again next week right here on the Loaded Radio podcast.
Loaded Radio.